Are we live?
Yes, sir. We are live now, sir.
Okay. Hello and welcome to this short presentation on, maybe it will be a longer presentation than I think, on the qualifier exam and beyond. Let me first of all congratulate every single applicant who has applied to this program. We are eagerly waiting to interact with you through this qualifier exam and beyond, as this slide wonderfully puts it. Let me also ask Professor Prathap, who has joined here, one of the coordinators of the program, to briefly address the group. And after that, I will take on and go ahead and present. Prathap, any thoughts for the people who have applied for the qualifiers from your side?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. We are so glad that you joined us this evening, and particularly we are very thrilled as much as you are about the start of this program. We really, it's a journey for us also, along with you. We have many ideas we think will be very useful for you. So welcome to this program, and we'll go through this together.
Okay, thanks, Pratap. So this will have the presentation generally has two parts. One is sort of an update on status of applications and numbers and things like that. And the next part is what will happen from now on, right? So the timetable and exactly when what will happen and all that. So all this is very important. I hope this is also being recorded. So you will have a recorded version, but I think for those who are live, please do pay attention. And you can also ask questions. There's a mechanism for you to ask questions, I believe. If something is unclear, please go ahead and ask your questions. Okay, so let me get started. Okay, so I think I'm on the right slide. Okay, so the first slide is with is about the publicity that we did and the attention that this program has garnered. Quite a lot of attention. The program launched in June 30. The website views 13.5 lakh unique visitors. There's a constant stream of people every day. Thousands of people were hitting the site. The social media following was really high for a very short period. We could rake up tens of thousands of social media numbers. The PR coverage in terms of articles in print and online was very high. And all of this resulted in a pretty good number of qualifier exam applications. So 31,000, there was some question about why did we put 2.5 lakh and all that. So we always knew the number would be of this order, maybe a little bit more, maybe around 50,000 or something. Of course, COVID and everything, so much is there to think about. So 31,000 for us is a pretty good number, and it's a good number to begin. In fact, look at the other number, the people who filled the form but did not pay at this time for various reasons is 45,000 also. So maybe there are more people who are going to attempt the next qualifiers that comes up, which will come up sometime next year. I forget when exactly. Okay, so we did quite a few live sessions with so many industry leaders and deans of IITM to address the applicants. All this is what we did, and as of today, we have 31,323 applicants who have applied to appear for the qualifiers in this round. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. Some statistics on who has applied. I thought this would be interesting for people to look at, particularly for this group. There are various things to look at. Let me start with the age group, which is an interesting number to look at. Anyway, you're applying for a data science course, so all this data you should know how to look at and assimilate together. We have put some of the numbers together for you. There is a wide age group, but a large majority is between 20 to 30. 10 to 20 is mostly 20. So 20 to 30 years old is nearly about 90% or 85%. 80% definitely comes in that category. So mostly young people are out of college recently, but there's a fair amount of people who are more senior as well, including 7 in the 70 to 80 age group. We're really happy to see this widespread, and we hope to do justice to all of them. The male-female ratio, to me at least, is a little bit disappointing. I really expected more women to be interested in this course, but that number is only 23% or so. Hopefully, as we go on in the next qualifiers, we'll have a better representation, and we'll work towards that as well. The past year, the number of people who passed out in 2020 from school is only 8,000. So I think the current students who don't have college admission have not really applied at this round. So that sort of also explains the numbers that we are seeing, mostly people in 2019 and before. So that's a large majority. Let's look at the category, for instance. What are these people doing? People who passed out fresh from school this time is around 8,000. People who are employed and looking for work is a very large number. 9,000, and equally large is people who are currently enrolled in college. Okay. And the other categories here, I think it's not so interesting. What's interesting is the goal, right? For 88.5% of the people, the goal is the BSc degree. So they're really interested in the degree. That's very nice to see. And we have quite a few things on the current status, employed, continuing education, break, looking for work. And you can see that fairly represents a very widespread. So overall, very, very widespread. And let me also tell you about working professionals. About 30% of the candidates who have enrolled are working professionals. So a lot of alumni, PhD scholars, very many people from IITs, NITs, a very good group has applied for this qualifiers. And look at the field of work. And that's very, very, I was very happy to see that as well. A widespread from accountancy, engineering, healthcare, IT, law, marketing, anything you name, it's here in this among the working professionals who have applied. Okay, state-wise numbers. This is also interesting for all the states. We have put that in descending order. We've always seen from NPTEL experience, Tamil Nadu tends to be on the top in these kind of numbers. And it's not surprising that we see Tamil Nadu, some 4,000 people odd from Tamil Nadu. Then Maharashtra, Kerala, UP, Karnataka, Delhi. You can see the numbers as it goes through. And we have good representation even in the Northeast. Andaman and Nicobar Islands, there are 10. So pretty good representation. Jammu and Kashmir 129. We're very happy to see that. Widespread, and that's very good. And we're very happy about that. Okay, so city-wise numbers. I think maybe I missed something here. Let me go to the previous city. Yeah, city-wise numbers. Again, once again in descending order. Chennai is at the very top. Then comes Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad. So I mean, what you can expect. So throughout the big cities are coming through, and you can see there's quite a widespread, and every major city in the country, smaller ones, are quite adequately represented. And as you keep going to smaller and smaller towns, particularly in Northeast and Port Blair and all that, the numbers are going down. But even Srinagar, for instance, is 58. That's a pretty handsome number based on whatever experience we've seen. This is pretty good. So very well spread out. And when we do the qualifiers, we see the whole country sort of represented in a significant manner. That's very nice to see as well. Okay, so what kind of support are we applying to? Are we currently doing? It says to potential applicants, but of course to also people who have applied. So this is the sort of support. There's quite a wide range of ways in which you can get in touch with us and get your queries answered. One is phone support. An average of so many calls are being received. There is a support email ID, which also receives a lot of calls. There's a WhatsApp bot, right? So we are talking about machine learning and all that. We should have something more modern as well. So we're doing a WhatsApp bot, which is trained every week based on the questions that you ask to it. And that's also pretty good. So most of your questions should get answered on this. There are bulk emails from us, SMS service that we have subscribed to. So you'll get SMS. There are live sessions like this that we conduct. And week 1 content has been released on the portal, and everyone should watch this. There is a practice assignment for trial. I cannot emphasize this more. In fact, Professor Prathap, who's the coordinator here, he has gone through the entire week 1 content, including the assignment. So let me let him say a few words about week 1 content and the importance of going through that right now.
Yeah, so actually week 1 content, as Professor Andrew said, is right now available for you directly. You can go and take a look. And I think it's a good starting point for you because this is not trial content. This is the actual content of that of the course, and it will give you a very good idea of the instructors, how they are presenting it, and you'll also see that a lot of effort has been made to present content in a very fresh manner. Particularly, you can see in computational thinking. There are many courses in computer science, but I have not seen anything presented in quite that same manner to basically get you an idea of what is the thought process involved in doing this whole computational activity. So it is very good, a new way of addressing content. Plus, it also gives you even 1 week of content will give you a good idea of the level of detail to which the instructors are going to go in this subject, in the respective subjects, the 4 subjects that are there. If you take, for example, even English 1, they are teaching different things. I mean, they're not necessarily teaching it exactly the way you would have seen English taught in a course that you have previously taken. So they even talk about how you pronounce sounds and how the vowels sound when you actually say it. and what impact that has in our ability to speak the language properly. In addition to things that you are more maybe more familiar with in terms of language. So there are going to be things that you have known before, and there are also going to be significantly different and new pieces of information and knowledge that the instructors are sharing. So please do take a look at it. I think you will. It's a good place for yourselves to get warmed up to what you can expect as you go forward.
So I cannot emphasize that practice assignment enough. And we've seen, I know it's anything that's not mandatory, many people don't solve, but still it's so important for your qualification, the practice assignment. And you can read and listen to a lot of things, but unless you practice, unless you do it by your own hand in your own way, you have not really learned anything. So I think that practice assignment is extremely important. I'm hearing that we've got about 2,500 only responses. So I would really like to see many more people try and make sure that they get the practice assignment done. Okay, so that's something important. There's a discussion forum where you can ask questions as well in case you have any questions.
Yeah, just to add to what Professor Andrew said, see, we basically want each of you to succeed. There are 30,000 plus students who have joined here. We want each of you to have a good journey through this program and to succeed. Succeed means you successfully complete all courses in the time frame that you have set for it, and in a manner that you can feel that you have really learned something. And for you to do that, you have to put in regular work, and practice assignment is a good place for you to start. So I would also share this view, and would like to emphasize that to you.
Okay, so this is the picture of where the first content can be found, but it's also there in the very first page. You just go to onlinedegree.iitm.ac.in. There is a message in the very first page with links to the first week's content of all the courses. So please go and see it. The portal itself will present the content a bit differently. It will have a different UI in some sense, but this is also very important. So please make sure you do this, and that will help you tremendously. Okay. So let me go through the administrative part of things where we are with processing applications, and there is 31,323 applications. And as you know, there's lots of documents we've got from you, and the document verification is manual, right? So there's no, not yet any machine learning algorithm which can do all this very reliably. So right now it's manual. And we've done this humongous task of verifying each and every one of those. We've done that fully, entirely, round one, in which we directly approved more than 25,834 as you see there. There's still approval pending, mostly because incorrect documents were uploaded. That's 5,489. So we asked them to re-upload documents, and we did a round two of verification. So this is, and currently we are checking we've done checking, I think looks like 5,489. And okay, so let me carefully rephrase that. We asked for 5,489. We received only 3,530. There is yet to upload is 1,959. And if you're one of them, I request you to please go ahead and upload or get in touch with the support team and say why you have not uploaded. That will really help us in understanding your particular case. And out of this 3530 that got re-uploaded, 2875 has already been approved, and 655 has been rejected a second time with the reason. And you'll have to, I believe, take this forward in some way. We've received errors for 542, and we've processed them as well. So it's big numbers. We have a reasonably good team here which follows up on all of these things. It's a good size team. That's what I want to say. Very good team. They're looking at these now, all these things very closely, but it's a challenging thing. So many different types of forms and formats, but they've managed to go through all of them. So this is the status, just to let you know what kind of numbers we are looking at. Okay, so now there is this issue of what happens to these people who are yet to upload, and what are we going to do to such applications. Here is what we're going to do, right? See, if you applied in the general category, there's nothing for us to do, right? So you can just go through. There is no special marks privilege or fee privilege that you have. On the other hand, if you applied in OBC, NCL, EWS categories, and if your document is not approved for whatever reason, then we will push you into the general category. Okay, so then that means in the qualifier, you will not get the mark waiver that is otherwise given to OBC, NCL, and EWS category students. So you'll be in the general category. Okay. Now, for people from reserved communities and persons with disabilities, if the support documents are not found to be not satisfactory, if they're not approved, they will be asked to pay the rest of the money. So we'll have to treat you as a general category student. We will ask you to pay the rest of the thing. If the rest of the money is not paid, we will have to reject the application and your original amount will be refunded. So that's the story here. That's what's going to happen for these people. In case you have any specific questions on this, please do write to the support email group. Okay, so what's going to happen next, right? So that's so we're done with all the administrative and other details that were there in the applications as such. Now we're ready to move on ahead and look at this exciting phase of the first ever qualifier for I guess you can say the world's first ever programming and data science course that's being offered by IIT Madras in this very prestigious program. Okay, so here are the dates. I think many of you already know these dates, but let me just repeat them once again. There are 4 weeks of content that will be released as part of the qualifiers. The week 1 content will go out on October 5th, and an assignment will also be released on the same day. So you're supposed to look at the content, and that's enough for you to answer the assignment. Okay, and that assignment will have a closing date, that's October 14th. So between October 5th and 14th, you should manage to finish all the content and answer all the assignments. Okay, that's very important. That's the first one. Second week, same story will continue. Content will come out on October 12th. An assignment will be released along with that. The deadline for the assignment, the closing date for the assignment is October 21. Same story on week 3. October 19th, we'll release content. There is an assignment that will get released along with that. October 28th is your assignment closing date. And week 4 content will be released on October 26th. That content will be included in the syllabus for the qualifier exam, but you will not see an assignment on it which is graded. But you will have practice assignments and other assignments included in it. Okay, so that's just to reduce the load so that you don't have to worry about things. So there are 3 graded assignments. It's extremely important that you attempt all of them and you get good marks on all of them, because these assignments are used as qualification criteria, some sort of an attendance criteria for us to even give you a hall ticket. Okay, so remember, you applied for the qualifier exam, you have not yet got the hall ticket. The hall ticket will come to you, you'll be eligible for the hall ticket only when you submit these assignments and qualify in these 3 online assignments. There is a minimum marks that you have to get, minimum average mark that you have to get across all these 3 assignments. This is very, very important. Okay, so we do not want people to generally go through the qualifier process without any practice, isn't it? So that's something very important. These 4 weeks are also part of your course, right? So if you do this and pass these 4 weeks, they become part of the credit that you earn in your first term, isn't it? So that's very important. So this attendance requirement in terms of having attended these lectures and attempted these assignments is very important to us. So once again, I will urge you very strongly, do the assignments on your own. Okay, so you can get help. We are not monitoring that very closely. It's an online environment. But if you do not know how to work out every single problem on your own, the chances of you passing the qualifiers are really, really slim. Okay, so I can tell you this. This is very important, extremely important, and it dramatically increases if you can solve all these assignment questions on your own. Okay, so it's very, very important. The content that is given to you is enough for you to attempt the assignment questions and the qualifier questions. Okay, now a couple of things I want to once again remind you about. Okay, you might have been used to a school or college system where the content is verbatim repeated in the exam. This is a different system. This is an IIT system. We expect that you comprehend the content that is taught to you. Okay, so you have to comprehend it, not just repeat what is given to you in that content. You have to understand what is being taught to you, the methods and the philosophies of what is being taught to you. And in the exam, we will test that understanding by expecting you to apply it in a different scenario. Okay, so don't come back and say that, this exact question was not covered in the weeks. We will never do that, right? What you see in the qualifier in the assignment will test your comprehension of what was taught and not exactly what was taught. Okay, so this difference is important. Maybe I'm not emphasizing this enough, so I'm going to ask Prathap again to emphasize this point once again, so that people really appreciate the difference between this system and some other system they're used to. Prathap, could you just emphasize this point once again? I think it's
Yeah,
very
sure, Andrew. So, yes, I think as Professor Andrew very clearly and categorically has shared with you his view on it on this. I would also like to emphasize the same point that the IIT system particularly places a lot of emphasis in your understanding the subject. So this is not going to be the type of exam that you're typically used to in school, maybe where question and answer have been discussed in class and you have written down, and you have a some subject where 25 questions have been discussed in class, and you can expect that the exam will have one of those 25 questions or some subset of those 25 questions, 5 or 6 questions from there. This does not work that way. In all of the teaching in IIT, which is basically the IIT experience. You have come here for an IIT experience. If you had gone elsewhere, this is exactly what you would have missed, and this is what makes you an IITian. Eventually, when you get a degree and you are when you complete this program successfully and you have a degree in your hand and it says an IIT Madras degree, this is what people will look for when you go for a job anywhere, and when you sit in an interview or when you go and actually work in that workplace. They expect you to think. They expect you to try and analyze a new situation using the knowledge that you have. And that is exactly the kind of stuff that we are going to teach you and test you on through the exams. We're going to expect you to use your knowledge to address a new problem that has been given to you, not simply repeat a statement that was there in the book or a statement that was made by the professor in the class. So you have to move distinctly away from this. You have to become comfortable with this. If you do become comfortable with this, you will succeed a lot in any professional setting. And it is very important. The sooner you make this transition, the better it is for you. So take it in a very positive way. Don't get intimidated that the first assignment for some reason seems a little difficult for you. Spend some time on it, review the content again and do it again, keep working on it. And then you will find that gradually as you move into the semester, you will get the feel of it. Once you get the feel of it, actually the joy of answering new questions, new problems is so good. You will really not want to go back to this, remembering some 3 sentences and just repeating it as and when somebody asks you. So that's the philosophy. Please accept it. Please be awake to it. I mean, don't just go in there and assume that it is all going to be the same.
Thanks, Prathap. So hopefully that was clear. But you'll also have help through these 4 weeks. You will have help. I'll talk to you about that. And once you have earned your hall ticket by answering the assignments and qualifying in the assignments with the minimum marks, you will get you can write the qualifier exam on 22nd. So now this is again one more thing. The numbers are 31,000 or so. So we can do the exam on one day. So it will be only November 22nd. We may have 1 or 2 sessions. We'll get back to you on that. That depends on how our exam partner gives us the number of seats and all that. So we expect to have the exam on only one day, 22nd. It could be a morning or afternoon session. We'll let you know exactly what session it is soon enough. Okay, so the content that will be released, what is the content that will be released? We'll release lecture videos. These are the most important things that you have to see. These are recorded by the instructors. There are tutorial videos. So we have a very strong content support team, and some of you have already interacted with them. Many of them have some of them have PhDs, many of them masters. So really experts in their area, and they've created very good content for supplementing the content taught by instructors. These are problem-solving sessions mostly. So how do you solve a problem in the area that the instructor has given? So that kind of help is given to you. There are graded assignments. So graded assignments are the most important things you have to submit every week. Make sure you get those right and you do it regularly and correctly. But outside of graded assignments, we'll also give you practice assignments for which you can practice. So now, once again, I want to emphasize this a lot. Don't just look at the answers for the practice assignments. Okay, what is the point of this? The point is you have to practice solving it very seriously and then check and then learn from it and then repeat that in the graded assignment so that you'll get the graded assignment correctly. Okay, so all of that, doing it in the proper, correct way is very, very important. And of course, you can take some help from friends that you may have and from our content support team as well. That's not disallowed, but make sure you learn it on your own. This is extremely important. We'll also give you activity questions. So these are very easy questions that come along with the lecture video, so that just to sort of break the monotony of videos, there are some activity questions that will come immediately after the video. Some lecture notes and presentation slides will be given to you as well. Okay, so hopefully this covered all the content that will come to you. So quite a bit of content will come every week, and this content will come on the 4 subjects: English, mathematics for data science, statistics for data science, and computational thinking. Okay, so it'll be a bit heavy, but hopefully we'll be able to cope with that. Okay, so what is the kind of interaction that you will have with our team, the content support team and all that? The first is for your technical queries, you can use the discussion forums that are embedded into every course. So you can ask the questions by typing out the questions. There are live sessions of this type, webinars with the instructors that we'll have. That may not be too many in number, but you will have some live sessions of that type where the instructors maybe go over some of the more complicated ideas or some of the more often repeated questions they try to clarify. Now, the most important thing which you should focus on, where you can get a lot of help, is live sessions with the content support team, where you'll be able to talk to the team, get some queries answered, sort of like live support available to you. So this is really useful. Every day, 4 to 6 hours in every subject, you will have help. So you'll be able to use this help, and you have to use this help. So this help is very, very valuable. And as you watch the video, if you feel that you're not understanding, you feel lonely, there's nobody to help me, you can immediately log on to these live sessions, post your questions, get your issues clarified, get some help. These are really, really useful. These are run by our content support experts. Okay. And administrative queries, please use the support email ID, WhatsApp bot, or things like that for administrative queries. Do not overload the discussion forum and live sessions with administrative queries, which the content support team is not really, not in a good place to answer. They would know maybe, but it's not their expertise, right? The operations team tackles all the operational issues. So don't ask, administrative and other, where is my hall ticket, where is my eligibility, all that. You don't ask in the discussion forum and the live sessions. Please don't do that. Ask all of them in the support email IDs. From our side, regular updates will go out on social media sites, emails, SMS, WhatsApp. Okay. Please follow your email, SMS, phone, and WhatsApp messages, SMS messages very, very closely. We will expect that you do it. Okay. So it's one of the things that you have to do. You cannot say, I did not check my email later. That's not allowed. Okay. So you have to be in touch with us. And since we are not seeing you physically, the only way we can see you is through email. And you are responsible to ensure that you check all the messages that we send. Okay. So that's the way in which we can interact with you. So like I said, like Professor Prathap also said earlier, we want you to clear this qualifier stage, right? So we really want you to do well in this. So we're extending very strong support to you even during the qualifier phase through the content support team. So please make use of this opportunity and learn from that. Okay. So what is the eligibility to get hall ticket? So I mentioned that there are these assignments. They are like the attendance requirement for us. Only when you cross that, you get your hall ticket. So in every course, I said there are 4 courses. In every course, we will compute the average assignment score. There are 3 assignments in every course. The average of the 3 assignment scores. Basically, you add the 3 assignment codes, divide by 3. It's the average. We will calculate that number. If that number has to be above the minimum required number in all the courses, in all the 4 courses, in each of the 4 courses, your average assignment score should be above the minimum requirement. Now, what is the minimum requirement? This depends on your category. It's up on the screen. For the general category students, at 40%. For reserve community students and persons with disability with 40% or more disability. I think the second and third are the same. I think, yeah. So that's 30%. And then OBC and CL and EWS is 35%. So depending on exactly how you've qualified, you will get that. But remember, once again, if you submitted some document which was not verified and you're not in OBC and CL EWS, we will push you into general learner category. So you will be in 40. So aim for 40. There's no problem. Okay. So this is the eligibility. Once again, I want to emphasize, if even in one course you do not meet this criteria, you will not get your hall ticket. Okay. So remember that. This is very, very, very important.
Yeah. Maybe Andrew, I can just add 2 points to this. So first thing is, please remember the grading is sort of absolute, meaning you're only competing with yourself. So there is no, you don't have to worry if a friend of yours got some other percentage and what rank he or she will get. It's not relevant. You're the only person you're competing against. We would like you to do well. And so these are actually just pass marks. If you were to attend a course anywhere, in college you were to attend a course, it is a pass mark. So something like that is what you have to look at this one, as well as the qualifier exam. And so don't think of it as some very difficult entrance exam in which you have to get 40%, 30%, etc. You're only going to look at, this is the assignment score Professor Andrew has shown you, and we will also he'll also tell you about the qualifier exam cutoffs. But basically, this is just a pass mark. You have to look at it that way. 1 month content you're going to see. There's an exam based on that 1 month content. There are assignments based. These assignments are actually based on 1 week content. And all we are asking is that you get on average 40% or 30%. So it is a very doable criteria. So please don't, much as I told you that, the process is new for many of you, you will face some of you will face some challenges in trying to adjust to this new way of learning things. But you'll, first of all, you'll benefit a lot if you learn it that way. And more importantly, this is not impossible at all. I'm quite confident that each of you can actually do it. You just have to pay attention, be involved in the learning process. You can definitely do it. This is just a pass mark. Please remember that. The other thing I'll also add here, which is relevant after you clear the qualifier, that these different pass criteria that we have got here, the minimum scores that are different for different categories, is only valid for the qualifier process. This is only valid for the qualifier process. I repeat that. It's only valid for the qualifier process. Once you are in the course, like you have anywhere else in all other colleges in the country, once you are in the course after the qualifier process, the cutoff marks are the same for all students. All learners are treated, are required to meet the same standard once they are past the qualifier stage. Okay, this is only for the qualifier to enable more accessibility. Yes.
Okay, so also I think to pick up on one of the points that Professor Prathap mentioned, he mentioned benefit. I mean, so don't look at this. We wouldn't have put this if this was not going to benefit you, right? So this thing of being regular in your work, making sure you finish your assignments is going to be of great help for you in the qualifiers and even throughout the course program. So there is absolutely no doubt in our mind that this regularity is vital and important. So that's why we have put this. It's not also just for our pleasure or something like that. So don't mistake it like that. So it is for your benefit, definitely. There's no doubt. Okay, so here is the qualifier exam itself and the pass criteria. How will the qualifier exam look? Okay, so it is of 3 hours duration. You have to answer it on a computer. So with the fact that you have to answer it on a computer means the questions are going to be of objective type. They will both be multiple choice, multiple select, and also even you might have to give an answer, as in put out an answer either by typing a number. Mostly these numerical questions are very popular with us. So we'll ask you for a number that you have to calculate and put a number. And if the number is correct, it falls in the correct range, we give you marks. So these kind of questions you can expect, objective type questions that you answer on a computer. It will be 3 hours duration. It will cover all the 4 subjects. And there will be questions that are worth 45 minutes sort of per course. So that's the division, right? 3 hours total. You can imagine it as 45 minutes per course. We will not force that you have to use 45 minutes for every course. We're not going to do that. You can fix your time as per your convenience. But roughly from our design, the question paper is designed so that we expect the student to spend about 45 minutes per course in the 3 hour qualifier exam. Now, look at the criteria again. I think this is in the website and it's been repeated so many times, but let me once again repeat it for you. To pass the qualifier exam, you have to get a minimum total exam score and a minimum score in every subject. There are 4 subjects. You have to get a minimum in every subject and an overall total minimum. So I'll say that exactly in the table in the next slide, but that's very important. And only those who pass the qualifier exam will be eligible to register for the foundational level courses. Okay, so this is the basic information. I think that was quite clear. So what is this qualifying marks? Again, there is category based marks here. For the general category students, you have to get a minimum of 40% in every subject. Okay, minimum of 40% in every subject, but you cannot get exactly 40 in all 4 subjects. Then you won't pass. Okay, because the minimum requirement for the total qualifier score, okay, okay, the adding sum of all the total qualifier scores, that should be 50%. Okay, so 40% minimum in each subject, but 50% minimum for the total. Okay, and there is the corresponding lesser minimum requirements for reserved category students and persons with disability and OBC, NCL, and EWS. So that's put up there, and you can read it. Okay. Now, Pratap emphasized this. I want to repeat it once again. Once you are clear of qualifiers, all students have the same academic required treatment. Only in the qualifiers, we have these differences. After that, there is no difference because it's all equal from that point of view. Okay. So that's the pass criteria. Hopefully this is clear. So well, all the best for all of you to appear in the qualifier and get through already. Let me also take this chance to wish you the best, and hopefully we'll all see you in the foundational stage after this. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Andrew, just the previous slide, just wanted to, yeah. So again, once again, I will highlight the fact that the 50% is not a very unachievable target by any means. So please don't get worried that you're being asked to get 50%. It is very doable if you just do it in a systematic manner. So you will actually find that if you are a regular student, these are all very achievable targets. We are not expecting you to just pass. We believe that if you do prepare properly and do well, you may get 70, 80, 90% also. So there is no reason why you cannot get 100%. In fact, you have a maths course, you have a statistics course, computational thinking course. Those are all courses where there is some problem given and you can actually answer it properly and get full mark. So there is no reason why you cannot get 100%. So while we just said that, we are going to set this up in a very challenging way for you to learn and become confident. These targets are the minimum targets, and so don't be intimidated by it. In fact, gain confidence that you can actually do better than this, and take pleasure that you're doing way better than this. Don't aim for 50%, aim for 100%. If you end up anything less than that, that is fine. You accept whatever mark you get, which may end up being less than that. But aim for 100%, don't aim for 50%. That's my suggestion to you.
Yeah, and also once again, this is, I want to remind you, this IIT system is different from other systems. Our faculty do not have to obey any rule that, the entire coverage of the 4 weeks should be uniform. We should ask this many questions from here, that many questions. We cannot put such criteria to our faculty, okay? So our questions will be our questions. So you can't come back and ask us anything. So you better be prepared for what you think our faculty will ask. And again, the questions will expect you to have understood the concept and apply it in a new situation also. So be prepared for it.
Yeah, and as Professor Andrew said, see, you should also look at it from this perspective. The question paper is the same for all students. So there is no reason to think that, it was difficult only for me. It was not difficult for other people. That's not the way it is. It is the same question paper. And the manner in which we discuss the content in an IIT setting is different. We want the learner to learn something specific. So we are trying to convey that. So the exam will also try to, gauge that. So you don't have to say that, there were 5 classes and in class 1, this topic was covered, second class 2, that topic was covered. 5 classes means I want 20% mark from each class. It is not going to work that way. It will never be that way. They may find some concept which goes across 3 classes and give you a lot of different marks for that particular concept. So please keep that in mind. Don't expect, as Professor Andrew said, don't expect a set pattern for the question paper. It is never going to be that.
So the thing I have to get 50%. So I'll only study the first 2 weeks. 3rd week and 4th week, I won't study and I have to get 50%. You're not going to get 50%. I can tell you right away that will not happen. So that's not how the courses work here. Don't plan based on that. Okay. So like I said, once you enter into the program, we are looking at you as a student now. There's no difference after this point. So for all students, whatever category you may have qualified under, for all students, how many courses can they register in the foundation level? That's determined based on their total qualifier exam score. Now, if that is less than 50, they can get up to 2 courses only. They're allowed to register. We will not allow you to register for more than that because we expect you not to be able to do that. So to give you a fair chance at being able to do it, between 50 to 70, we will allow you to register for 3 courses. If you're above 70, you can register for 4 courses. Now, this is not very unfair. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, I can do it. But, we've seen based on our experience of having dealt with so many different students over the years that this is ultimately of great benefit to you, right? don't be under this compulsion to finish everything very quickly. You know, like finishing everything is not important. Even if you do a little bit lesser, doing it well is going to serve you so much more, and in the long run. And it's a long run you have to worry about. I mean, not in the immediate future. So be ready for that. And this is done with a lot of careful thought. A committee has looked into it. These are not random numbers that we have pulled out of the hat. We've thought about it very carefully and put these numbers here.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to add to this, see, the thought process is like this. If you're able to do the qualifier very well, it means you're able to handle 4 courses at the same time very well. So therefore, we feel more confident that you can continue with 4 courses in the semester if you choose to do so. If that choice is still yours, we are not forcing you to take 4 courses. You can take less if you wish, but you are allowed to take 4 courses if you have managed to do the first month where you attended 4 courses together properly. If you have scored less, we feel that you're facing a little bit more challenge with the content, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it is new content, new way of presentation. Each student is going to have a different learning curve, so it's absolutely fine. There is no reason. Again, please remember, in this program you're only competing against yourself. Please don't compare yourself with your friend. If your friend has taken 3 courses, doesn't matter. You take 2 courses. If you do well, that is what really matters. If your friend takes 3 courses and does average in those 3 courses, he or she has not learned as much as you have if you have done 2 courses and you have done them well. Eventually, you're all going to finish the same number of courses, so it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it is not like you are going to finish with 1 less course. You have to also finish the same set of courses. You will finish, and if you have done it well, that is a confidence you're going to take with you to a professional setting. Please remember, after this, you're going to go into a professional setting. There, your ability to do your professional work properly, consistently, with good quality is what will make you a very successful professional. So there is simply saying, I finished all the courses in 1 semester is not going to make you a successful person. The fact that you did well, and therefore that knowledge you are able to carry on to your professional setting, that is what makes you successful. So don't worry if your marks require you to take this thing a little bit slowly. Like I said, our purpose is to ensure that you succeed as a professional person, succeed well, feel very comfortable in your professional setting. So take it at the pace that is appropriate for your learning. And this is a table that helps us gauge what is that appropriate pace. That is what it is, and that is the whole purpose of this exercise. And it is intended to help the student, not tell the student that you're not good enough for any such thing. This is not that. We want you to be as successful as possible. This is the process that gets you there. So please remember that, and when you pick up your courses accordingly.
Okay, thanks, Prathap. So that is the thing. So once again, an emphasis, in a repetition of the main dates for you to remember. 5th October is when the weekly release of the first qualifier content and all will start. 2nd November, you will get your hall ticket. Now, this will be given only to those who cross that minimum required marks in the assignments. Very important. You have to earn your hall ticket. It's not just given to you after you start doing the qualifiers. And 22nd November, mark that date down. Those who have the hall ticket can come and write the exam on 22nd November. 7th December, the qualifier exam results will be announced. 7th to 27th, registration for term 1 will be open. During that period, we'll do a lot of orientation sessions with officials of IIT Madras. The director is going to be there. That is people who have qualified into the foundational program, and we will do orientation for you, give you ideas on what to think about, how to succeed in this program, and all of that. And 4th January is when the first batch will start. Okay, so this is for your planning. Hopefully, this was all clear. I believe this is the last slide. Right? Okay. No, this is not the last slide. Okay. So we wanted to show you this. For some reason, the quality of the image is not as best as I thought it would be. But this is the degree that's awaiting you when you finish your whole thing, entire period of study. It's a Bachelor of Science in Programming and Data Science with the IIT Madras stamp and signature of the approved signatories of the institute, registrar, director, and chairman board of governors. So this is awaiting you. So it's so please be motivated by it. I hope you're motivated much more than what I imagine, and you do well in the qualifiers. I wish all 33,000 students get into the foundational year and make this program a really grand success. There are also other similar certificates. I think you can see that there's a diploma in programming, diploma in data science, and the CCE certificate for people who clear the foundational program. Okay, so I'll leave this slide on, and at this point, I don't know if Pratap, would you like to add something?
Just I wanted to add, if you can just show the certificate again.
Sure.
Yeah, just to, just to add to what Andrew was just mentioning, we want all 33,000 of you to succeed. This program is for that. I mean, for success, this is exactly what we are trying to do. We want you to excel, and then because you excel in something, we expect that you will succeed. So use our services. Use all the features that we have explained to you. Our helpline, our discussion forum, and so on. Use it because it is there to be used. Don't hesitate. Don't, even if you've never tried it before, try it. You will find that on our side, you will find everybody is very polite, very patient. We'll make every effort to help you learn and use it completely. I mean, this is something that we want you to completely use as much as possible, so that you become one of those successful people who completes this program in a manner that that is good. So we do that, and our intention, we are not going to take any pride in saying so many thousand people came in, but only a few hundred cleared the course. That is not our intention at all. 33,000 people have come in here. You are now part of us. We would like you to succeed. We would like all 33,000 to graduate ideally. Of course, it is going to be challenging, and different students and different learners with backgrounds being different, the time they have spent in other organizations being different, may have different challenges, and possibly not everybody will succeed. We understand that, but please understand that the purpose is to make you all succeed. So never mistake that, and therefore use every resource that we are enabling for you as much as possible. There's no such thing as overuse. Use it well, use it in the right spirit, and I think you will find it very accessible, very approachable, the whole process.
Thanks Pratap. So I'll leave these dates on the screen, and at this point maybe we can take questions. I hope there are questions, and I did see a few already before the program started. So hopefully there are questions. And Kamala, I think if you could please read out some oft repeated questions, we'd be happy to take them.
Good evening, professors. Yes, we do have quite a few questions from our learners. So I'll start reading them out. So one of the first questions that we have received today is about, given the COVID situation, how the exams are going to be conducted at the center. Is it going to be an online or offline mode of exam? What are the safety measures that you have designed at the exam center?
So the organization which is running the exams for us is the same organization that's running JEE and everything. So there's no difference as far as that is concerned. They've conducted several exams in the peak of COVID period, and they know what all precautions have to be done, and we'll follow the same standard operating procedure as JEE Advanced and all that. So there's no worry about that, and you don't have to be stressed out at all about it.
Okay, sir. So the next question is about whether they will be allowed to utilize the online library of IIT Madras.
So we are working on the library solution. So we are in talk with our librarian. We have some ideas on how to enable ebooks and possible such resources online. For a bachelor's program, typically textbooks are the main things that people need. There are ebooks which are planning to procure and give access to whatever ebooks we can. There are packages that a lot of publishers put out. We will create a nice library. We are working on that very closely with our librarian.
Okay, sir. So the next question is from Ms. Rohini. She's asking if they will get another chance to write a subject if they don't clear that particular subject.
No, I think not that subject alone. For any reason, whatever the reason may be, if you don't clear the qualifier this time, you will have to appear afresh in the next qualifier. The next qualifier application will start, I believe, sometime in January. Then December, sometime the next qualifier application will open. You have to apply again in the next qualifier.
Yeah, that is particularly with respect to the qualifier. Once you are into the course, then of course, if you don't clear a particular subject, then we deal with that subject independently. In the qualifier, you have to clear everything.
Okay, sir. So the same learner wants to know, will the exam for each subject, can it be conducted on separate days?
No, it's a combined exam. It's like a small quiz in each subject, 4 of them put together to create one exam. So that's how it is. So the 45 minutes, we're very mindful of that. I mean, we'll create the questions so that it can be reasonably done in 45 minutes by the learner. So there's no need to worry like that. But we are assessing a lot of this in this qualifier. So Pratap mentioned, I mean, and this is also one of the things that we're assessing, so that you're able to assimilate those 4 subjects well. and you can time yourself well in that exam and then write it well. So it should be possible. Time yourself like that. I mean, first 45 minutes for first subject, the first favorite subject of strongest subject that you feel that you can do, I would suggest that you do in the first 45 minutes. And at that point, you skip to the next one, and whatever is your next best, do it in the next 45 minutes, because you have to finish all four. No, I mean, everyone you have to get 40 minimum. So, and because that way, then if you finish the strong subject early, you will have more time for your, the subjects which need more time for you, right? So plan it like that, and then you'll have a very good chance of succeeding.
Thank you, sir. So this learner from Ghaziabad, he says that he is quite confused between EWS and general category and family income certificate and so on. Are all candidates having family income less than 8 lakhs, are they considered as EWS? Can you shed some light on that?
EWS is a criteria that's defined by the government. The central government has an EWS criteria. You have to get that EWS certificate as per the central government's definition. This information is given in our website. You have to get that first, right? If you do not get an EWS certificate or a OBC NCL certificate, you are not eligible for the fee waiver. Okay, the fee waiver is given only to those who are already under EWS and NCL, and their family income is satisfies the limit criteria. If the family income is between 5 lakh and 1 lakh, then you will get 50% off. If the family income is less than 1 lakh, you will get 75% off. So there are two things that you have to give us. One is the central government's EWS, if you're in general category, or the central government's OBC NCL, if you're in OBC category, and then the family income certificate. Both are needed for you to be eligible for the fee waiver from the foundational courses. Hopefully that's clear.
Okay, sir. So this learner from Bangalore, he is already enrolled in an on-campus program, but he is not very happy with that, and he is planning to drop out of it after a year. Can he continue with, with the online degree program? So will you guarantee internships and placement after the BSc degree?
See, the many things I want to talk about here. So first thing is, after the BSc degree, our industry relations cell will actively work with you to try and place you. Okay, so use those, please note those words. I mean, nobody can guarantee placement for anybody, right? So it's not, nobody can guarantee anything in this world, isn't it? So it's everything has only a probability of being successful. So the same thing we can say here. We will work with you. We will try our best. The industry relations team, we will have a very strong industry relations team. We already have the beginnings of it, which will work with you to try and place you. It will create opportunities for you, and you have to get placed through those opportunities. So that's what we guarantee for people who get the BSc degree, and not that we guarantee placement. So nobody guarantees placement. Only opportunities for placement. So please note that down. Prathap, would you like to take the first question? Not.
Yeah. So I just wanted to add to the same point that, sometimes you see advertisements from different institutions saying that they will guarantee placement. We are not into that. And in the sense, we don't want to give you an artificial sense of some paperwork will be given to you at the end of the program. That's not how we work. We want something genuinely done. So we expect that if you have performed well and we provide you with the opportunities, we know that the industry is keen on people in this area. And if you do well, there is every chance that they will pick you up. So we are interested in making that as positive as possible. And after that, it will be between you and the person who interviews you. You have to know the subject. You have to also present yourself well. For all that, again, we are giving you training through various skill enhancement courses. So we believe you will be quite well prepared if you reach that point, and then you should pick it up and do it. And that is the way it is going to be even after you join the job, because at the end of the day, placement is just the start. You have to go into the job setting and you have to survive there over a period of time. So that will happen only on your own. It has to happen on your own standing. And so an interview is a good place for you to show that you actually have the capability to stay put in that job, to get into the job and then stay in the job, because that you have that quality. So we will give the opportunity, but how it turns out, it will be in your hands.
Okay, thank you, sir. So this learner has a hypothetical question. So let's say after the qualifier exam, he becomes eligible to register for 4 courses in the foundational program. Is it mandatory to complete all the 4 courses in the same term, or is partial completion allowed? Since there will be weekly assignments, monthly in-person quizzes, and so on, can he also complete it partially even though he has registered for 4 courses?
No, not in the way he is suggesting. So once you have qualified for four courses, you can choose to do less. You can say that no, I have a busy semester ahead of me, or busy time in the next 3 months due to some other requirements. Therefore, I will only do 2 courses. I will do the other 2 courses later. That flexibility you have. That completely you have that flexibility. You can choose 1, 2, 3, or 4 courses. That call is completely yours. So, but that call you have to make right at the beginning, so that once you are in, whatever course you have taken, let's say instead of taking 4, you chose to pick up 2, then those 2 you have to complete completely. You cannot say those 2 I will do 1 month of this course and 3 months of the other course, and then I will do the exams another term. That is not going to be allowed. That is not generally allowed in any other educational setting also. So we are not going to be permitting that here.
So hopefully that was clear. So once you clear the qualifiers, 7th December, the results are out. Between 7th and 27th, you have the option of registering. Let's say you qualified for 4 courses registration. So you can qualify for you can register for up to 4 courses. You can say, I will register for only 1 course. There's no problem. Register for 2 courses or 3 courses or 4 courses. You will do a minimum 1 course that is required. But that choice is entirely yours. But once 27th December is crossed and you have already registered for 3 courses, let's say, after that, you cannot drop one of them. That doesn't work. So hopefully that's clear. Yes, you can choose to do lesser, but you have to choose it during the registration time. Okay.
Okay, sir. So this learner from Bhubaneswar, he wants to know, he is interested in applying to this program, but he would like to know what are the scopes for higher education and what should be his approach.
Higher education after this degree is what you're saying. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that really depends on the background that you have and what other skills and background that you have. I'm not able to give a direct suggestion just based on this information. Maybe if I have more information about the candidate, I'll be able to give a more clear information. Is there anything else in the question? If it's not there, it's difficult to answer a question like that.
Yeah, so this is all he's asking, sir.
See, there are going to be masters, MSc programs which accept BSc programs with specific requirements. They will say that you have to have had at least so many courses of a certain type, and then you can apply for our MSc program and so on. So to the extent that the MSc programs requirements are covered by this program, and we believe in many cases it will be, in those cases, it is very likely that they will accept this degree as a starting point, as a qualifying.
But one of the hesitations I see from a lot of people is because this is supposed to be in online mode, which is new. I think most universities today, when they say they accept bachelor's degree, they also accept bachelor's degree in open mode. They do that. And many universities accept, say, for instance, CA Inter, they accept as a bachelor's degree. That's also done sort of in a distance mode, isn't it? So I think if we can convince the university that this is a good program, it should be possible. I think they will do it. I don't see there's any problem to it. But only when it happens, we'll know for sure how this reaction will be. We will see how it is. But we'll work with you and talk to the university in those kind of situations and get them to recognize how good this degree is. I think I don't see a problem from the quality of the degree point of view. There are many more degrees. This degree is quite strong in comparison to so many other opportunities, or equal to so many other things that are already recognized by universities. So I think we should be able to get through the degree structure. If you look at the course structure, we have done it so that it's in keeping with the UGC's general BSc structure. You can go look at UGC's BSc Computer Science curriculum. It sort of has this structure. We've looked at it. We've kept it close to that. We have tried to be very close in spirit to even the online degree regulations of UGC, even though they don't apply to us. So I think in most cases, the way I look at it, it should be okay. I don't see there's any problem with validity of this degree from that point of view. But when we get to that battle, we'll definitely take it up. If there is a university which says, I don't recognize this degree, we will have, we will take it up with that university at that point for sure.
Okay, sir. So this next question is about the exam day. So will the exams be an open book exam? Do we have to bring our own laptop to the center? Are calculators allowed in exam center?
So it won't be an open book exam, and you don't have to bring your laptop. You will come to an exam center. You have to bring your ID and some proof that it is who you are. Exactly what proof you have to give and the hall ticket, those details will give you, but nothing else. And calculator will also not be allowed. There will be an on-screen calculator if you need it on the computer. You will go to a center where you will have computers, and you will be assigned one computer. So you will sit in front of a computer, and there will be one login process. All those details will give you. You will log in, and you will start seeing questions on the screen. You will answer them one by one. If you need a calculator, there will be an on-screen calculator which you can enable. You have to click something. The calculator will show up on screen. That is the one that you will have to use. So this is the general process that we will use. Again, it is the same exam vendor who is running JEE exam, GATE exam, and so on, which is TCS ION, and they have the standard procedure. So if you have ever attended any of those exams, this is basically what you will experience when you come to our exam hall also.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So the next question is about the course itself. Does this course have any practical sessions? If so, how will it be conducted?
Okay, so practical sessions in programming basically involve programming. So we will create, portals where in our portal we will have programming assignments. So if you're doing a Python course, you have to write a program in Python which will solve a particular problem and get it right. If you get it right, you will get marks. So that will be one practical aspect of things. And even other courses like statistics and machine learning and all that, we expect to have extensive questions of the type, or sessions of the type where they tell you, you go to this type of, I don't know, Python or something else, and you do these kind of commands to, do this kind of data processing, take this data, read this data, clean it up in this fashion. All these things you might be expected to do in any course, and those constitute the practicals of this. So this area is like that, isn't it? There's no other practical, as in there's no lab where you have to take some reagents and add or something like that. Nothing like that is there in this area. And in fact, our application development courses, they will have, and in fact, even the machine learning courses, they will have a course project. So you will build up at the end of the application development course, you will have an application in your hand that you built. So these kind of things would be there, but it's all electronics. You can do it on the internet, on portals, without going to a lab physically or anything like that. That's the plan.
Okay, sir. So the next question is from Mr. Akash from Kurukshetra, Haryana. It's a very unique question. So I'll read out the question. My question is a bit different. I want to ask if having a technical mindset is a real thing. I mean, is it true that a person can be already good at maths and programming compared to someone who is scared of it? Can someone with practice become as good in science and maths as someone who finds these subjects easy?
Wow, it's a deep philosophical question. So you're saying, is there something intrinsic about a person that makes them good at something and not good? I think those levels are at very, very high level, right? So, there are, if you're playing international cricket at, IPL level, and then Dhoni would still be better than somebody else, right? So that would distinguish, I think intrinsic, whatever that a person might have. But when you're talking about basic competency at the bachelor's level, at least I believe it's an amount of hard work. I mean, there's no substitute for work and time you spend on it, and the inclination you have for it. I mean, you should at least be willing to try it and then work hard towards it. At the bachelor's level, I think all bachelor's degrees are open for anybody to do attempt.
Okay, so the next question is, it's about the syllabus for the course. So is the syllabus for the qualifier exam same as the first month content of foundational course? And is there any relation between qualifier score, qualifier syllabus, and program course?
The syllabus for the first month of the first term is exactly the qualifiers. That is the qualifiers. Qualifier 4 weeks is the first 4 weeks of all the 4 courses that are there in the first semester, so to speak. So if you choose to, now a lot of situations are there, right? So you may have cleared the qualifiers, but you may only register for one of the 4 courses in the first term, right? Then what you see will be from the 5th week onwards, right, of that course. If you register for all 4, you will see 5th week onwards from that course. I hope that's correct. Yeah. So that's how you see. You see from 5th week onwards after the qualifier. So it just continues from the qualifiers. We will expect that you refresh and revise and be ready for the 5th week when the content comes out in the first term. So that's how it is. But for some reason, if you choose not to register for the 4 courses, even though you could or you couldn't, you register only for 2 courses, then when you do repeat the other 2 courses in the subsequent term, you have to repeat from first week. So you will sort of redo the first 4 weeks. And that is to your advantage in some sense.
Okay, sir. So the same person has this follow-up question. So will the scores of the qualifier exam and its assignments be included in the aggregate score at the end of the degree? That is, will the assignment and qualifier scores be carried forward into the actual coursework starting from Jan?
So only for those courses that you actually register for in the registration for the first term. Okay, so you do 4 weeks of qualifier. Let's say in maths, stats, English, and computational thinking, you do 4 weeks of qualifier. And let's say you register only for maths and stats in the January term. So the first 4 weeks the assignments, the quiz 1, yeah, the quiz 1 score, yeah, the assignment scores don't mean much for your aggregate. The quiz 1 of the first term in those 2 subjects alone will be equal to your qualifier marks in those 2 subjects. That's it. And because you didn't do the other 2 courses, whenever you repeat that in the subsequent term, you will have to repeat that first quiz. Right? Hopefully that was clear. So the first quiz marks is replaced by the qualifier marks for those subjects that you actually register for in the immediate next term following the qualifier.
Okay, sir. So for those who have missed applying this time, how many times is the qualifier exam conducted in a year? And how many fresh admissions are allowed in a year?
So we are planning to do it 3 times, right? The next qualifier exam form will open sometime in December, I believe 2nd or 3rd week of December, you can expect that. And we'll do it 3 times a year. We have not set limits. See, the first time we put some limit just to say that, we don't have limits and all that. So we will not put limits, and any number of people can come in and apply. So there's no admission limits or anything like that. We'll do 3 times a year to give people opportunities. You can try again, any number of times from those 3 attempts.
Okay, sir. So this question is from Mr. Mithun. So he wants to know if a student, after the qualifier exam, once they enroll into the program, are they considered officially students of IIT Madras? Are they entitled to participate in Tech Fest organized by IIT Madras?
Okay. So I think participating in Tech Fest, anybody can do, no? I thought you can just walk in. I've walked in, I'm not a student, I walked into the Tech Fest. But I guess are you representing IIT Madras and all that? Those kind of questions you're asking. I have not had a long discussion on this with anybody. So maybe I think a lot of people are asking this question. So we will discuss and we'll come back to you on what is it that you will get as soon as you enter the foundational program, right? So you will definitely get an email ID. That's much is sure. It will be at onlinedegree.iitm.ac.in email ID. You will get that. We're working on an ID card, an electronic ID card that will be issued to you, like the e-Aadhaar or something. You'll get an e-ID from us. That will be given to you. So in terms of status, I don't know what it means to be officially a student, but I guess you will be on the rolls at that point of IIT Madras as an online degree student. So that's the situation at that point. So let's see. What more we can do to make it more official or make you have that sense of belonging that you're an IIT Madras student. We will work on that. And if you have some particular ideas on how we can do it, we can do it. But the campus access is, of course, restricted in some sense. The campus is a bit of a restricted campus in terms of bioreserve and all that. There's lots of restrictions on who can come in. So the numbers on campus are always limited. But I think if you have any good ideas on how we can make the sense of belonging that students need better, we are really open to it. We are also thinking about how to make it better.
Okay, sir. So the next question is about whether IIT Madras is planning to provide master's degree also in data science and programming.
So for IIT Madras to approve a degree is a long process. If I walk you through the process that we went through to get this degree approved, they really put you through the grill. You have to go through so many meetings, and there are like 4, 5, four stages of at least approval that we went through. So it's very, very, very rigorous. And yeah, I mean, of course, it's important to have master's degrees. I see the value of that. I think we also see the value of a 4-year BS degree. Now that the NEP has allowed that, the 4-year BS degree is of great value to us. But any such change, so you can imagine, right? IIT Madras Senate has all professors like me sitting there. We don't like, we are not the IPL generation. We grew up with test match cricket, so we like to change things slowly. We like to let things settle down, watch what it is, observe what has happened, look at the data from it, and then change something. It's not very quick to change, I know, but still, I mean, the degree, the BSc online degree is a huge initiative from the IIT Madras Senate. So they do see the value in it. We will talk to them. We will take these kind of interesting proposals to them, keep adding more things of value to this program. But at this point, we don't have a definite plan yet, but we are working on it.
Okay, sir. So this is from Mr. Varun from Mumbai. So he's a visually challenged student. He did his class 12 in CBSE with the help of a scribe, and he's currently pursuing BSc IT in Mumbai. Can he do this course?
I would definitely think yes. I think we don't have any restriction. We want to really make it inclusive and accessible. That's one of our mottos in this. We would really welcome the pioneers to come in, do it, and show that it's possible. Show us also the way to make it possible. We have made sure the portal is accessible. We're using a player, which is the video player, which is accessible. We're trying to make sure we meet all the accessibility criteria. Our exams are obviously accessible, so you can bring a scribe to the exam. There's no problem. We want to work doubly hard on this. Then if you can give us specific suggestions on what else is needed, we're happy to work with you and make it happen. Rob's team is looking forward to such things.
Okay, sir.
So actually, yeah, at the exam center, again, since these are people, I mean, our exam partner has been working on exams for a long time. Generally, all our exams are, accessible to visually impaired. They have certain ways in which they already make it accessible. So as long as the specification is given to us ahead of time, then the computer at which the candidate sits is appropriately set with the right kind of settings to enable this process. But if more help is needed, we will take every effort possible to assist you. So yeah, so you can feel confident about that.
Okay, sir. So this is about, again, the qualifier exam. Do you have any model question papers for the qualifier exam? Can you share some model question papers with solved answers? This will be helpful for the beginner students. Also, do they need to refer to any other resources to ace the qualifier exam?
So first of all, you do the assignments. Those are your question papers, so to speak. Yeah. So you just do the assignments, see the solution for the assignment, and that is your question paper. So I mean, in good indication of your question paper. It gives you a good idea of the way the topics are examined, the way they're asking questions, and so on. If there are specific references, they will mention it in that lecture. By and large, the content that you see will be complete in itself. And if there's a particular reference, they will give it to you or they will indicate that in that class itself.
So the one question you might have, I think people who have been maybe away from this for a while, is the background that's assumed. So we've said 10th standard mathematics and English, right? So we're not assuming anything beyond that. So very good refresher. I know it sounds very very basic, but if you can pick up the 10th or 11th standard mathematics NCERT books, the CBSE books, they're available, or pick up the any IB or International Baccalaureate. So they also have very good books at the 10th standard, 11th standard level, school level. And if you think you need that background, some terms, some things you've forgotten about numbers and basic definitions from a long time ago, I would urge you to look at that level, and it will come back to you very quickly. And in fact, it's not going to be that difficult, I think. But if you feel that as you're watching the lectures that you're lacking some of the memory from what you've learned in school long back, I would suggest those two material as good starting points.
Okay, sir. So this question is from a student in Assam. So he is planning to pursue both his regular degree as well as this one. So again, if the exams fall on the same day, what is the possible solution?
So our exams are on Sunday, and I think there is no university that I know of which does exams on Sundays. So I think it should be okay. But there can be issues like the exam is on Sunday and your exam is on Monday and things like that. That's something that we cannot avoid. We are trying to talk to many universities about it, but I think it's looks like it's going to be a bit difficult to avoid. We've tried to time the exams so that majority of universities do not have exams at that time. But I think it's if it happens, it's unavoidable, and the only way around it for us is to schedule our exams on Sunday.
Okay, sir. So Mr. Karthik from Chennai, he wants to know, he has actually 3 questions. So will we be allowed to take more than 5 years to finish this degree? The projected roadmap allows for 3, 4, 5 years, but can we exceed that hypothetically?
6 years, I think 6 is the number as of now. 6 is the absolute largest number that you can do. 6 years is allowed.
So can they exceed that?
Exceed 6? I thought he said 5. I think in the question
Right.
he said 5.
Yes.
5 is okay. You can exceed. You can go up to 6. Exceeding 6 is not allowed as per the rule. So when you exceed 6, you will need some special clearance, and that clearance has to come from the Senate, right? So you have to appeal to the Senate saying that what the circumstances were, and then your case will be presented, and the Senate will decide whether to give you that or not. So it's definitely not in my hands to decide what happens beyond 6.
Okay, sir. And the second question is the suggested textbooks for courses. Are they supposed to be purchased by the learners, or will they be given any access by the institute?
We are working on the suggested texts to get ebooks and keep it up in the library for students' access. We are working on that, but I think it's always good to have the suggested book and have access to it yourself. You're free to buy it. We would suggest that you think about buying it, but we are working on that. Once we have a clear idea of how the library setup is, we will get back to you on that. It should be possible.
Okay, sir. And for those who are pursuing a campus degree elsewhere, how will the logistics of internships be handled?
It's complicated. I realize that internships particularly are complicated, and but the way we are going to do our industry relations cell work is to work with each student, and we cannot assume a standard calendar for the internships, right? So in fact, even for jobs, we cannot assume a standard calendar. If you're really looking to place people, then each person is going to come with a different package, isn't it? What they do, what they've done outside of this, all of that is going to become a big challenge for industry relations team, but they're ready to face it and take it on. And we will work with your timing. See, the first thing it starts is when you are free. Right? If you qualify for the internship, when you are free, and we can enable that at that point. So it will be paced like that, as opposed to we don't decide the time ahead of time. What this is internship time before, without any regard for when the actual student is.
Okay, sir. So this is a question that we have received from quite a few learners. So one sample question is, I see that 485 people from my city have applied for this course. Is there any channel through which we all can be in touch among ourselves to discuss queries and so on? Because if there is any way we could meet with some people who have applied and are learning with us, that will be great, because I am a student who just finished schooling in 2020, and I would like to, connect with people who are going through the same journey.
So we're working on systems like that. We're working on user community setup. And from January, I think it will be possible. Not in the qualifier stage. It's too early for us to do that connection. We will do the connection once you have registered for the course. Right. So at that point, there is a bit more of a legal hold on what we can do with your data and what we cannot do. So once you once you've crossed the qualifier, it's okay for us to do these things, and we will do a community setup where there'll be various versions, and we're thinking of how to do it. And a lot of things you have to be careful about. You can imagine, right? So there's privacy issues, there are safety issues, and on top of that, there's also important community issues. I mean, having a community next to you is huge help, and I can see the big positives in that. But it needs to be done protecting rights and privacy of everybody. So we are working on how to enable that, how that can be done. And in this modern age, I mean, you have as a candidate of this program, you should come out of it fully aware of all the privacy rights and other rights and care that we have to take in a setup like that. So we will do it very carefully, but from January there will be a way for you to participate in communities, online communities, and even maybe offline if a group decides to do so. It will be possible after you join the foundation.
Okay, so this is about the next question is about the discussion forum. So discussions happening over in Google groups is very difficult to follow. Can we have some small groups based on some filter criteria?
So the portal itself will have some other forum, right? So we don't know. Not in October, but in January. Okay, so from January in the foundation courses, the forum will be different. The October course, the qualifier phase is still going to be Google Groups at this point. But in January, we'll have a different forum. We're working on integrating that forum into our portal as right now. So we will have a different forum which will allow for all sorts of different subgroups, and our community will be around that forum as well. So we are working on something like that.
Okay. So one related question, in discussion forums, we constantly see this POD in front of many team members' names. What is the full form for POD?
That's interesting. POD. It's I think it is program for online degrees. That I think was one of our earlier. There was a person here who was with us for a while. He came up with that name and he thought POD was a nice acronym. And we actually, our website would have almost been pod.itm.ac.in. We tried, but that something went wrong. I can't remember what exactly happened. And then we tried ODP and then all these things. And finally, we ended up with online degree. And a lot of people complain that it's too long, right? So online degree.itm.ac.in, nobody types such long URLs anymore. I don't know. Do you have a better suggestion? My suggestion was ode.itm.ac.in, and some people liked it, some people didn't like it. But anyway, the long story short, POD is programmed for online degrees.
Okay, sir. Okay, so this is a question we have addressed previously also about candidates from outside India. Due to this COVID situation, we can't travel. Any plans to conduct a remote proctored exams?
No, we are not going to do remote proctored exams, but for the qualifiers also, we are not doing anything outside the country, right? Okay, so we are trying, apparently, we've been told that we are trying. This is again trying, right? So anything can happen. We have not formed up anything. We are trying for two places, one in the Middle East and one in Southeast Asia. I think Dubai and Singapore is where we are trying to see if we can have centers. Again, this is only a try. I mean, this is so much that's difficult. You also pointed out COVID. There's lots of things that are difficult here. We will try our best. If we get it, we will get centers for even qualifiers. Right? For qualifiers, even we'll get, and even for the exams in January onwards, only for these two places. Yeah, so the next qualifiers onwards, we'll try for other countries. That's the situation.
Okay, so that'll be good. Okay, so this learner from Kanpur, he says he would love to visit the IIT Madras campus. Will there be any chance for him to visit? Will the degree be posted, or can he have a chance to come and collect it himself?
So we're working on having one. So after the foundation program starts, every term we are planning on having one event. Maybe I should not talk about it. I don't know. Maybe I said it too early. I don't know. So we're thinking about having an event maybe once a term where we get whoever can come. It'll also be online televised, but but we want to see if whoever can come down to the on maybe one day or so, spend a day with us, see what we do, how we operate, actually see us in flesh and blood. When we are not some artificially created creatures who are coming and talking to you. So we're planning on something like that. So yeah, once a term, I think we can pull it off, and maybe over the terms, people will visit us at least once, right? So that's not too bad.
Okay.
Anyway, that's supposed to be hidden secret information, which everybody in this interaction. Sorry.
Okay. So next question is from Mr. Abhishek. He is asking, so in the course details, every course is supposed to be 12 weeks long, and since 4 weeks will be covered in qualifier, whether the foundational courses will start from week 5.
Yes, that's correct. The first term, the courses will start from week 5. Yeah.
Okay. And so the next question is about the difficulty level of the exam. So will it be the same level as shown in the video lectures, or will it be a much higher level?
So we have a formula for that, the difficulty level and all that. I can't remember the exact split now. There'll be a split of questions which are similar to assignments that you've seen, and there will be questions which are new, different from the assignments. When I say new, it's different from the assignments. So there'll be a fair mix of these two. I forget the exact ratio. We haven't fully decided on those things. So there'll be a mix like that. So I don't want to say difficult. I think the exam will test your comprehension more than your ability to just remember all that was told in class. So if you can remember each and every word the sentence the instructor said without knowing exactly what he meant by them and the meaning of those things, the exam will be tough for you. That's not the point of these things. You'll be able to understand what is going on and use it in a new situation. So that will be definitely tested. It won't be. I'm not going to say it's hard. It's not difficult for men to be difficult, right? So we want people to pass. We want people to do well, and at the same time, it will definitely test your understanding.
Okay, sir. So again, the degree, will it mention anywhere the words online or part-time or distance learning or any such wording will be there in the degree?
At this point, no. Our degree does not mention anything like that. The degree is a degree. So now there is this. A lot of people ask this question. So they associate online with distance learning, and it seems natural for them to do so. But this program, we are thinking of it really as a hybrid program. All the exams are offline, and you're doing in person, and the instruction today, particularly in these subjects, is so good online. And there is this totally flipped learning type of thing that's possible here, right? So in many classes, even on campus today, happen on flipped learning, and the video lectures are given ahead of time, and faculty are available for interaction. And so I don't know. I mean, I think, but the whole world is always worried about, is the online mode as good as the physical in-person mode? No. And the value judgment that's made on that eventually is what will decide. And there's lots of doubts about distance learning as it's done in India, and people say distance learning is not as good and all that. And I think there's no doubt in my mind that at the end of this program, nobody will say this program is bad. I mean, this program is going to be much better, in fact, than many other competing programs that even maybe on campus, right? So I think we want to earn that name, and we are very serious about that. And then once that happens, all these notions of whether it says online or doesn't say, it's irrelevant, right? So it doesn't matter. The real problem is that, and we are committed to that. This is IIT Madras. I mean, this is not an institution which takes academics very lightly. Our Senate is not something that's going to sit down and the program is not good. They're going to cut it down. So it's a very, very harsh requirement on us from the Senate. So we are aware of that, and we will work very hard to make sure this program is prestigious and earns considered very reputable by everybody.
Just to add, again, as Professor Andrew said, as of now, we have no wording of that nature in the draft certificate that has been approved. But additionally, I will say the value of the certificate will actually depend on you. When you graduate from here and when you go to the workplace, you are the one who will create the value around the certificate. And so this program, from our side, we will try to make sure that when you step out of this program, you are very well equipped, and the assessment has shown both us, it has shown you and any potential employer that you are a capable person in that area. Once you do that, and when you actually go and start performing well in the academic, in the professional setting, you are the one who sets the name. So it is not an entrance exam. It is not what we teach here. I mean, those all add, but at the end of the day, you are our ambassador. You are the person who steps out and says, I came from this program, look how good I am. And you will be hard pressed to find another person like me. So we hope that you will be reaching that stage, and we will make every endeavor to help you along that journey. It will be your journey, that you have to do your part to make it there.
Okay, sir. So the next question is from Mr. Umesh from Rudrapur. So he is currently pursuing BSc Honours degree, and he is also planning to pursue the online degree from ITM. So he wants to know, after getting both the degrees, would he have to surrender one of them, or can he use both?
Oh, Oh my God. So I don't think you have to surrender anyone. I think both degrees are okay. That's my take based on what I understand. So because you're doing two different requirements, and the credits that you earn from that degree is different from the credits you earn from this degree. It's not double counted or anything like that. So there's no need to surrender one degree to get another. And when people who get two degrees using two different means, keep both the degrees. There is no need to surrender one to get the other.
Okay, sir. This learner from Chennai, he wants to understand the estimate of the number of hours he has to spend, or an average student has to spend on going through the course material, assignments, and so on.
So we have mentioned that in the web page as well. I think it's about, I would say about 10 hours per subject per week. Yeah, that's it's a good estimate. 10 hours per subject per week. See, usually there's about 2 to 3 hours of just lecture content. So that you have to watch, and maybe you take more than that time to watch it. And then you have to work on the assignment, think about how to solve them, get it done and all that. So 10 hours is very handsome. So I would suggest, if you're already doing something else, you budget about 1 hour per weekday, definitely, to make sure you do that, and budget 2.5 hours on the weekends. So that's 10 hours for every subject. So if you do two subjects, you're looking at 2 hours every weekday, maybe early in the morning or late at night, 1 hour early in the morning, 1 hour late at night, and then 5 hours on the weekend. And weekend, you have to really spend more time. So that's 2 courses for someone who's also working somewhere else.
Okay, sir. So this question is about the assignments. So the question is whether the assignment has to be submitted on a specific date, or are they given a duration? Can it be submitted multiple times, or is it a one-time submission, and so on?
You can submit as many times as you want. Your last submission before the deadline will be taken into account for grading.
Okay. So yes, there is a duration. Duration from the time the assignment becomes available to you till that deadline. You have that entire duration is available to you. You can submit any number of times, and as Professor Andrew said, the last submission gets accepted.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So the marks will not be revealed to you every time you submit, right? So the marks will be revealed to you only after the deadline has passed, right? So you won't know what the marks are.
Yes, sir. So the follow-up question is, do we get feedback on assignments after every submission?
After every submission, no, you won't get feedback on the graded assignments after every submission. You won't know which is correct, which is wrong. No, not at that time. Only after the deadline has passed, you will know what got points, what did not get points. That you will get. But there's no individual feedback on, you did this well, that not so well, etc. Not at the qualifier level, definitely not.
Okay. And so this question is from a working professional who says that for working professionals and those who are currently working somewhere in an organization, they only get weekends. So will that be sufficient time to prepare for the courses and the upcoming foundation level courses and so on?
I gave you the split of time that's needed, and the first 4 weeks of the qualifier preparation is going to be a bit stressful if you're really working very busy during that time, because all 4 courses come at you, right? And ideally, you should be able to spend 10 hours per week per course. That's ideal. But since the first 4 weeks are really basic and preliminary, we feel people might be able to get away with maybe even 5 to 6 hours per course per week. So that's the reason why we felt. But if you're working, it will require quite a bit of effort. So that's why I think week 1 you should be done by now. I mean, don't put off week 1. It's been there for so long, and you have to really plan so that you do it. And in fact, if you look at the dates very carefully, even though I keep saying week, you actually have 10 days, right? From the date of the release of content, you have 10 days till the assignment deadline passes. So, and that's actually 10 days. All the time it's 10 days. So you can take those 10 days. Okay, not all the time. For first assignment, you can take 10 days. The next one will come within 1 week. Okay, so but still there is that flexibility. And for the last week, you don't have assignments. So you can take much longer time for the last week to do it. So so plan it like that. So the first week, be done with it now itself. And first week will come again, right? In October, it will come again on October 5th. So the first 10 days, you don't have to do anything. So the next week will come on October 12th. That's when you will have 10 days for the first week, second week that you look at. And then the third week alone, you will have only 7 days. So you plan like that. I think there's a reasonable chance of getting through.
Yeah, so only the second and third assignment are going to keep you a little bit busy. So if you can, make sure that you have set aside some amount of time in that window, then you should be fine. At least for the qualifiers, you should be fine because there is no fourth assignment and you have enough time to look through that content for your qualifier. And for the first assignment, it's already out there. First week content is already out there. So you can get yourself ready for it. So only 2 weeks that will keep you a little tight at this qualifier stage. Afterwards, of course, based on your schedule, you decide your course load and what you get permitted based on your marks. Between those two, you decide a course load that is acceptable to you, that you can handle in a good way. I mean, in a way that is good and satisfying to you.
Okay, sir. So this candidate is writing from Srinagar. So he says that the internet speed there is of low quality, and will the course content be posted on YouTube so that he can adjust the quality according to his internet speed?
I'm sorry, I missed the question. Sorry, I was just thinking of something else talking to. Yeah,
so
sure.
this candidate is writing.
Srinagar, internet speed is slow, and what do they want?
So they are asking if the course content will be posted on YouTube also, so that they can adjust the quality according to the speed.
Yes. The videos are on YouTube.
Okay, sir. So the next question is about the BSc program itself. Why is it a BSc and not a BTech? Can BTech option added to this by more specialization or increasing duration of the program?
So there is a ruling from one of the courts at one point which said no professional degrees can be offered online. That's one thing that's there. Another ruling is AICTE has traditionally said no to any BTech type program online. So these two are sort of obstacles, important obstacles. So that's for those reasons we cannot call this a BTech. It has to be called BS or something like that. So we may be able to do a 4-year BS. That might be possible, and that might have a different name from a BSc if you're worried about it. But I think the name is, people don't just go by names these days. It's possible. I mean that there are institutions which give degrees which are not recognized by anybody, but then it still has huge value, right? I mean, CA, for instance, they keep saying CA a lot, but that's the nature of it. Once the reputation is built up and people go out and they earn their name for themselves, it doesn't matter what that is called or anything. And we are aiming for something like that. That's our goal. It's nothing below that. And so we're not. So when people ask these questions, yes, there is a concern. It's a legitimate concern. We are happy to work with any regulator if we know what we have to do. But there are all these other things. But if you focus on the excellence part of it, you learn well, you go out there and shine. It's just really nobody who can stop you.
Okay, sir. So this learner who is planning to apply to foreign universities for higher studies, he is asking if they can get recommendation letters from us.
So recommendation letters is someone who you've worked with, right? So supposing you get into one of the internships here and you are working with someone, you impress that person, and then you ask for recommendation. It's in some rare cases, faculty do give it based on course performance, but those are very weak recommendations and not very strong. So that's my advice on recommendations. At least that's the philosophy I use when I give recommendations to you.
Okay, sir. So the next question again is about the qualifier, the minimum marks that we have mentioned. So in qualifier, we have to score minimum 40% each subject and total average of 50%. My question is why there is individual subject score and total average score? Why not have a common score? He just wants to understand the logic behind this.
Why have a subject-based cutoff, not just a full?
I understood.
So basically, you have to pass. So we have set a 50% pass mark, so to speak. But we understand that there will be some variability between student to student and different subjects. So you may find one subject more interesting and easy to handle. Another student might find another subject more easy and comfortable to handle. So we have given a window. So you can do better in one subject and compensate for another subject which you have not done as well. At the same time, we don't want you to drop to zero in one of those subjects. So we have set a certain minimum threshold. but we give you some window over which you can operate across different courses such that your overall average is at 50%. So that's the way we have set it. That's the thinking behind it.
Okay, sir. So this learner from Darbhanga, he is a little concerned and he's asking, because a lot of people from different streams are participating in this program. Don't you think it will be challenging for some of us with a mere degree to compete with them in this course?
Not at all. So like I said, you're only competing with yourself. Don't worry what the other person is doing. Yeah, don't worry what the other person is doing. You are, whether you pass or not, whether you get the degree or not, will not depend on whether the other person gets the degree or not. You do well, you get degree. You do well, you get good marks, you get a good transcript, and you look good at an interview. So don't worry about it. In fact, look at it the other way around. If it's a good group of people with diverse backgrounds, when eventually we have these social group settings which we enable after January, you will have very interesting interaction. You will have interaction with people your age group, much older than you, maybe much younger than you. So you will get a wide range of people with whom you can interact and learn a lot of things that you may take a much longer to learn if you never met those people and so on. So it's good, positive.
Just imagine, you're asking so much about placements. That's a wonderful placement opportunity. There are people who are in companies already who are with you in a class. Remember, who you have to impress more than the faculty. You have to impress these co-students of yours who are already professionals. They'll take you for internships right away, right? From there, they've seen you in class. They know that you know the subject really well. You're doing it very well. You're answering questions, asking questions in the discussion forum. You're participating in the class. When all of that is happening and they see you doing that, and then why will they not offer you a position in their company, right? So these are wonderful opportunities for you. So I think I would see it much more positively than even how Prathap put it. I would say this is like a huge opportunity. People in colleges don't have this opportunity.
Okay, sir. So after the qualifiers, will there be an all India rank like we get in JEE?
No.
Absolutely.
No. You do not have any rank. You pass, you're in. That's it.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, sir. So another learner wants to know, at any point will this be converted to a 4-year BS degree?
No, okay. You're trying to make me predict what our Senate will do. I mean, that's a dangerous prediction. But we will, I think, eventually make a proposal. So if you, I mean, I keep comparing with CA all the time, but this is our thinking. In case you're wondering what we're thinking about, what distinguishes CA from a lot of other programs is the articleship that they have. The final period after the inter, they do articleship, what's called articleship, where they actually go on the ground and do something with an auditor company, and this is like some way in which you do it, and finally they write an exam and they get out. So that's the CA program, and a lot of what we're doing is sort of like the CA program. So it's so we're thinking of how to add a meaningful 4th year to make a BS, right? So we did not want to do more courses. We could do 1 or 2, but maybe not entirely coursework. But then how to operationalize a system like that in scale with high quality is the concern that we are battling right now. So once we have a pretty reasonable solution for that, we will be able to enable something like that. So that's the thinking right now. I think that's a proposal like that after 1 or 2 years of students coming in and doing well. So our Senate will want to see that. We want to see how the students are doing in the first term. What was their average mark? Did they all do well? Did they seem to know what they're doing? And did they do well in the second term? How is that going? Without that, I think our Senate has very little chance of passing any modification to this program. But I'm confident if all that happens well, and we take such a proposal to the Senate, it's well thought out, it has a very good chance of getting approved.
Yeah, just to add, I mean, yes, these are ideas that we're looking at, but please remember the existing program is a BSc program. I mean, that is the program that is currently on the table, which is the program to which you have applied. So please keep in mind, these are all hypothetical things that we are considering, we will be looking at. We have no idea if it will pass or when it will pass. So please don't keep that in your mind thinking that by the time I reach my 3rd year, it would have become a BS program. So please don't keep that in mind. If it happens, good, but don't keep that as your goal starting now.
Thanks, Prathap, for that clarification. Yeah, at no point was I suggesting that anything like this is going to happen. It's still very iffy, and let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Like, I mean, a lot of it is, again, like Prathap said, a lot of it is going to be in the first batch's hand. I mean, first batch has to be very good. The first batch has to be really happy with us also. We should do very good to the first batch, and the first batch should do very good to us, right? and they have to do really well. And I think there is a very good chance that they will do well, and we are going in that direction, definitely.
Okay, sir. So this learner from Pune, he wants to know if we have plans to develop a mobile app to watch the weekly content. This will be very helpful for everyone.
So the way we are doing it, so there's lots of ways in which this can be done in practice. The way we are doing it is we are building a fully responsive front end. And when you access it on a mobile browser, it will look like an app to you. There will be no problems. It'll be fully responsive, and it's been designed with a system like that. It's not an app. There's also this school of thought which saying apps are not the right thing to build for mobiles. Just do the UI from the backend should look different on different screen sizes on its own. You should build something like that. There's a strong school of thought there, and that's a nice idea in my opinion. It's lesser things to maintain and all that. So that's where we are going. You will have a very good experience on your mobile visiting our course portal.
Okay, sir. So Mr. Janardhan from Bangalore, he wants to know if a candidate feels the assignment questions are not enough to be prepared for the qualifier exam, where else he should be looking for more practice?
Oh, okay. This is, I think for maths and physics, maths and stats, I keep saying physics, I don't know why. It's getting too late in the evening, I think. So maths and stats, you may have other sources. I think the teachers are pointing you to other sources. Computational thinking is going to be a bit hard, I think, because it's a very unique course. In fact, the instructors are thinking of creating some additional content, but I don't know how successful they will be in that. But so it's a unique course. It's tough. Our content support team is going to be your best friend, right? So we have to keep asking our content support team, and they may be able to cook up more questions for you to practice. But that's what I would suggest. English, I think you must have enough places where you will find it. So English, maths, and stats. Maybe the references and textbooks that people provide are good for you. But for computational thinking, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. You're relying more on the content support team for that.
Okay, sir. So I think we have covered most of the questions. So there's one more question, the last question. When will the qualifier exam for the direct entry for diploma course be held?
The first one, the next one, the July one, right? No, not the immediate next one after that. Or the next one is July?
The exam will be direct entry.
Yeah, direct entry. Yeah, so it will be in July because the direct entry can start only from September 2021. That's the third term. Right?
Forms will open in May.
So forms will open in May and the exams will be in July.
Okay, sir.
There will be one more qualifier for the foundation program. Forms opening in December, the exams in March. Right? March.
Okay, so I just want to close the session by reading out some of the feedback that we have received. So we have quite a number of learners telling us, thank you for clearing our doubts. These type of sessions are very helpful for the candidates, and I'm looking forward to pursuing this course. It's a very good initiative. I like the whole experience so far. This is a classic program, very evolving, very supportive team, and so on. So we are getting quite a good number of good feedback, positive feedback. Thank you, professors. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Kamala. Thanks, team. Thanks to everyone, and
Yeah, thanks,
all the best. All the best. Hope you do very well in the qualifiers.